Well, you wake up one of these days and you just have to sit there and wonder what is going on in the world of gaming. Yeah, that's what this is going to be. I'm just going to talk about the world of gaming right now, what I see and where is it going. Recently, we've had a lot of discussion on the Unity engine when it comes to indie developers and how they're trying to enact this fee for install. But then when you go and look at games that are showing up at the top of the list, who's viewing the most games. And you have to sit there and wonder if these new games that are coming out, like Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield, if they're actually holding up to any sort of metric compared to the games that are out there. Looking at YouTube and Twitch, looking at where video games are sitting right now, and you have to wonder what went awry. You have to wonder why in the world is Grand Theft Auto 5 one of the most viewed games in the world and continues to be when new games come out to try and dethrone it, and it doesn't even come close. Starfield is being viewed by maybe 10,000 people on YouTube, another 10,000 on Twitch. Relatively the same with Baldur's Gate 3. These are two massively large games that came out, but then they don't really do anything. And then you have games like Breath of the Wild with Nintendo. Well, a lot of people just don't stream Nintendo games because Nintendo doesn't like it, and there's always a copyright issue or some sort of issues with that, especially when I cover earlier videos about a modder for the games and he gets struck by YouTube's system. So that's part of the reason why we don't see a lot of Nintendo games, mainly Zelda, Metroid, and the such. And a lot of the Switch games just don't really fall in place for that. They're more of a couch co-op if you have a lot of friends at home. So that makes me wonder, what is actually going on in this $200 billion plus industry in the process? Unreal Engine, they move things along. They do a lot of things where a lot of these games just go forward. You've also got Minecraft being up there at one of the top viewed things. They're still beating out Starfield. Just give this a thought here. Minecraft streams are beating out Starfield and Baldur's Gate. To me, that seems absolutely unreal. And then you turn around and look at Mortal Kombat 1, a game that just came out with abysmal ratings for the Nintendo Switch. The game looks absolutely abysmal. It looks like something that was put on your Super Nintendo and tried to upgrade the graphics. But on other systems like the PC or the PlayStation, it runs a lot better. And they're rivaling Minecraft right now as a very simple fight sort of game. And then you got to wonder what happened to Blizzard. Where did Diablo 4 go? Well, Diablo 4 just kind of fell flat on its face. After they nerfed the game, now they're unnerfing the experience. They're like, come back and play our game. People are electing to go to the previous version of Diablo 3 instead. There's a lot of games out there. There's a lot of industry standards that are just falling at the wayside, and that's what the difference here is. A game 10 years ago, like Grand Theft Auto 5, still being today's sort of revolutionary style of gaming, and that's more of what people want to play. I haven't really done a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5 for PC gaming, mostly because YouTube doesn't like it. But it seems with that many people playing it, I might have to take another look at this. On top of that, when you look at things like Skyrim and compare it to Starfield, the difference is Starfield really did upgrade the graphics, but did the storyline, did the immersion really go that much further? A lot of people recall and look at it and say it's more like Fallout than Starfield, than its own new entity. And I think that's where it really falls off in that sense. Also, and then you have the cheaper version, No Man's Sky, that's been out since 2016, that continuously do updates, and we played that on stream the other day, and it just happens to be where it looked like it was something different. It looks something different, but it looked like they did things right. You're always able to do something, and it just takes time to play these games because the grind is real in them. And then you go back to looking at a Starfield and you just look at the differences in color. Starfield to me looks very muted every time I look at it. There's not the big color pops unless you go to like the one section in the game where it's there. And then No Man's Sky is just this seamless, endless space adventure. Like the adventure in space with No Man's Sky just looks absolutely so much more. They actually had their highest grossing recall for people going back to No Man's Sky after Starfield came out. People went, you know what? Starfield's out, but No Man's Sky is looking a hell of a lot better. Let's check out this game. Or they did both, and they threw more money at No Man's Sky, and they've had one of their best months ever on record because of the resurgence of Starfield. Now, and then it comes down to, where do we go from here? Where do games really look at for the game of the year? Well, we see the social media trends. We see Breath of the Wild was probably one of the higher rated games out there. Is Starfield as good as Breath of the Wild? I'm not sure. I haven't played either. I don't own a Switch. A Switch is something I'm actually looking at, but I'm not entirely sure if I should pick one up now or wait for the Switch 2. That is the newest thing that's coming out soon enough. I'm not entirely sure where I should sit for that. Maybe let me know down below. What do you think? Should I look at trying to find a Switch at this point? Or should I wait? I'm not entirely sure. But once again, streaming Nintendo games is kind of difficult because it just seems not to be the same thing. So then it comes down to, what are we expecting for the rest of 2023? Well, games have been up and down. We even had Hogwarts Legacy this year. Do you all remember the controversies with Hogwarts Legacy? This game came out and everyone was screaming at the rooftops not to play this game, all because people don't like J.K. Rowling. It's absolutely abysmal to think of that now, right? That was at the beginning of the year. Now we're into September. We're into the final stretch. We're into the Christmas thinking season. What are we going to do when it comes to Christmas? Who is going to proclaim the game of the year? It's absolutely crazy this year just to think of all the titles we've had, to think of all the titles yet to come. And now we have the debacle with the Unity situation, and what titles are we going to lose? Well, all I know is coming for the next few months, there's a lot of games to still be released. Things look very bright for gaming. This isn't going anywhere. The industry is healthy. It's absolutely crazy. It's just we have a lot of the games where people have to question the details that are being put into the games, where politics are being thrown in there, and you know, a lot of people just want to walk away from it. Hogwarts Legacy was one of those games that it didn't matter. You just played the game and it felt great, and then everything else that's come along, it's always been something more. They want to put in their own injection, and that's where gaming has kind of taken a backslide a little bit, and then the forefront is the things that we don't want to discuss. We want these escapes from reality. We want the gaming to be fun. And that is mostly where I stand, right? I want to play a game. Some days I sit here and I look at my long list of games and I don't know what to play, mostly because I've played a lot of them. There's some that I wish I could play, like Starfield. I do wish I could play Starfield. I personally cannot justify the cost of it. Ultimately, I do this as a hobby. I don't do this as a living. My living is as an electrician. I work a 9-to-5 job 5 days a week right now. So for me to sit there and sink in that much money into a video game, it's very tough. No Man's Sky, on the other hand, was a very decent game. It was also gifted to me very, very long ago, and thank you for that. And you have to sit there and you weigh your basket. Do you put all the eggs into it? You can't. And like everyone else out there that plays video games, that does a lot of things, that have to earn a living and have to try and make things and make the ends meet, I am just like one of you. I just sit here in front of a screen and talk some days, and that is all that this has been. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great day. I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix Sinner Shadow, and may we rise together. Don't forget to like and subscribe.